Everyone, it is Friday, February 11th, and this is Morning Market Movers, where we do some live analysis for day trading and take a look at potential hotspots in the markets for the day. My name is Todd Rich. I am with Nadex. With me, Brian Caprice from Keep Trading Simple. It is a pause, quiet day in the markets. Equities slightly in the red, slightly in the green. Right now they're looking to open flat. We're going to take a peek at oil, and we're going to take a look over at equities, but everything is sort of on pause. Now, I say that because clearly we had a rather volatile day yesterday. The CPI numbers, 7.5%, biggest increase. I mean, inflation, highest level in 40 years. In 40 years. And then the market sold off, retraced a little bit, and then one of the Fed presidents, Jim Bullard, came out and said, you know what, we need 100 basis point rate hike. We need to go a full interest rate. We've been talking about 25 basis points, and Brian and I are both in agreement that probably 50 is where it's going to end up landing on the first one, but calling for 100 spooked the markets, and the markets absolutely tanked. And now what we've got, even though the Fed presidents, they realize how much when they talk, some of them now have all come out this morning saying, yes, we see the inflation, but we're going to take a more measured approach. Several of them have come out, publicly and privately saying that. So now everyone's trying to digest. Is the Fed going to get bombastic? Brian and I will talk more about this. I mean, Goldman Sachs calling for 7 rate hikes this year. I mean, that's a lot. We know where Jamie Dimon stands. I mean, Brian could tell you where, remind everyone where that is. But it is interesting. People are really trying to digest inflation and what the Fed is going to do and how quickly they're going to do it. So before we get into some of those fun discussions, I do need to share this disclaimer that trading involves risk. It may not be appropriate for everyone, that any trading decisions you make are solely your responsibility and at your own risk. And this is an educational session. Please do not construe anything Brian or I say as a buy or sell recommendation. We are doing this for your education purposes. Before we go to equities, you know what? And I flip it over to Brian. I was going to say crude oil could be an interesting one. We are seeing some volatility in crude oil. I've got some fibs up on this chart. We can clearly see the 91, just above 91 and a half. There's a level here, 1, 2, 3. It's hit it 4 times. I had this all set up. Hey, we might roll up into this. Look at what the Europeans are doing. Is it going to test that level or roll over? And it's already starting to roll over as we speak. But you know what? I'm going to flip it over to Brian. We could take a look at oil, and then we'll get over to the equities, and we are going to talk about interest rates, because that's what everyone's going to be talking about today: inflation and interest rates.
Yeah, I mean, even currency market-wise, it's pretty flat from the comments, because remember, nothing's there. These are just comments thus far. And, everybody's talking about how it's going to be the race to raise. I mean, in the last 24 hours, the euro dollar, 6, dollar CAD, 6, Aussie dollar, 1. Even the big movers out there, like the pound yen, 21. So it's rather rather flat today. And again, there's not a whole lot of news. There was some pound GDP data that was just, slightly lower. It came in as a 1.0 versus a 1.1. So it wasn't too much. We had the preliminary University of Michigan consumer sentiment coming in at 10 o'clock today. So may provide, off the open being flat. There'll be obviously a trend that starts early morning. With that being at 10 o'clock, that could provide a reversal opportunity today. But for the most part, it'll be probably more just comments, speeches. Russia raises their interest rates to 9.5. You were attended earlier in the week. We talked about the carry trade. Russia's not really part of it. They're not considered one of the major currencies. But I mean, imagine getting a 9.5% return on your money.
Meanwhile, I know they raised it to 9.5. They raised 100 basis points. I'm like, is Bullard in a race with Russia to get our?
Yeah.
I don't think we want interest rates up that high.
Yeah, I mean, every country has different demands on it. And remember, we're a little bit different. We're not an export nation. We're a consuming nation. Russia is trying to be an export. So they want a lot of inflation. They want to basically devalue their currency as much as they can. But then every so often they have to raise it like this to control it so it doesn't get too out of hand for the public. So Russia is kind of like they're kind of an extreme scenario where it's one direction really strong and then the other direction. So it's like Japan does nothing. right? And then the exact opposite end of the spectrum would be Russia. They're
Right.
like all over the place. So, but
Yep.
they're, it's one of the ones that you don't really, you're not really trading much, but it just goes to show you that if they went up that high, and it says it doesn't rule out more hikes. So, hearing about our 0.25, 0.5 is like, what? So it's not there. But
Then
besides
when
that,
we're down near
everything else
zero.
is really, production numbers came in across the board, inflation, Germany, 4.9. So, it's the same story, different countries. I was able to find it. I wasn't able to find it, but obviously yesterday when Bullard talked about his 100, actually, I guess the news doesn't change. That obviously sent the market moving a lot, very, very fast. I mean, when we look at something like the ES, we had the inflation data yesterday that came out. It dropped it straight down, and then we had a parabolic. Again, if you guys have watched the parabolic retracement videos that we've done the Education Summit, parabolic move based off of news. It literally came right back up to where it started, and then Bullard's comments came in a little bit later, and then continued to drive it lower. And my opinion on it is, I think actually he should be taking over the Fed. I think he is being a very crafty player right now. I think that he was very vocal about not taking over because I think he was next. It was given to Bernard. I think he has set her up to fail. Is my opinion on it. My opinion is he's saying 100 to get the 50 in to guarantee that the 50 gets in. Bostic is all over the place. One day it's 25, and then we'll do 27 rate hikes in a row and all this other stuff. You had Barkin last night talking about, I believe it's past time to begin normalizing policy. I'm open to 50 basis points, and it's time to make a significant decrease in the balance sheet and then start rising rates soon after. So, you know, everybody's pushing. I think he's just not pulling punches. He has no filter on what he believes. And again, saying 100, everyone's like, oh my God, 100 is so much. When we get 50, people are like, okay, 50 is not bad. We can do 50. And that's more than most people are used to. 50 50 is a very big rate hike. It's not one that you normally see. It typically goes much lower than that. But we're at 40 something year highs right now, 7.5%. And the Fed has a mandate of 2%.
A two. So,
So
by the way,
we're almost 4 times higher than that. So
the markets are already predicting, I think, with a
yep.
75, 80% chance that
Yep.
the hike is going to be 50 basis
Yep.
points. So,
and I've been saying that since November that
yeah.
it's going to be a 50. And like I said,
But
Jamie Dimon is like,
it's being
they're going
priced
to get
into
forced. Yeah.
the,
Oh, yeah. And yeah, a lot of it will. I think a 25 is priced in right now. I think the 50 will still be a surprise for a lot of people.
No,
But
it's still now it is now priced in. That's you go to the futures market and you look at it, they're already pricing in the 50
yeah,
with the
and it needs to
75%
happen. Yeah.
probability. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it needs to happen. We're at a 40-year high. Unemployment is down at like 4%. It's super, super low. Companies, even though there's supply shortages and there's all these things stacked up against them, it's great to be able to say, though, look at it, look at the the recovery I've have. But unfortunately, there's a lot of there's downsides to it as well, and
Yeah.
those downsides are just starting to kind of peer their heads, guys. And
And
like I
even
said,
50 basis points coming off of a 25 where we are right now to go up to
it's
75,
nothing.
it's still nothing. I
It's
mean, it
nothing.
really is kind of nothing.
Yep, it's nothing. So, as far as opportunities today, Todd pointed out, oil is back up around that $91 mark. We came up, we had an area, we were looking at 91.50. It didn't quite make it up there. It made it up to 91.38. If you're looking in the European session, you can see that there's the 3 o'clock number right there. There's 3 o'clock. So the Europeans have done nothing with oil except shoot it straight up, right? So let's mark this off. I can't even find my colors today. Where is it? I'm like, it's over here.
It's
This is what
Friday.
3 days of not sleeping, guys, does to you. I'm like, wait, what's my name? What's my name? Yeah. Mom comes back today. After this, I'm going to run to the airport and get her. And then I'm going to sleep for 12 hours straight.
I don't know.
Kip is here,
Uber
guys, by
might
the
be
way.
in the
Just in
cards.
case you're wondering, Kip, he is here. He's being good right now. He is here. He's just below the camera.
He's so quiet.
So today, well, yeah, I loaded him up and he's fading for morning nap. So I'm like, oh God, we're going to get in the car seat and go pick up mommy. I think I could handle it by myself if for a week, but those first 3 days are off. It's like hell week all over again. So, but anyway, oil being up high, I do think that oil has the opportunity to pull back a little bit today. And really, we're kind of somewhat in this established channel between 91.50 and 88, really 89 down here at low. I don't think we're breaking through and coming up to 95 or anything today. Typically, we see a bullish reaction off the open. I don't know if we'll get it today. I think there'll just be some profit taking. It's Friday. People are on the way out. Valentine's Day is Monday. So, I I think that's going to be more the focus. I think it's going to be a little bit quiet. I think yesterday was kind of the big surprise. And again, each day that Russia doesn't invade, I mean, Biden made the comment yesterday, "Oh, Americans, if you're still in the Ukraine, you should get out.
Yeah.
Invasion is imminent." It's like, I don't know.
You look in the currency market. No one's expecting.
No one cares. And again,
they do not
is he making
expect them to
comments
attack.
just to make comments? Is what my question is. Is he now turning into Yellen? And in this regards, I feel like yes, because
is he getting played? Is he getting
what
played?
did we see this week? We had the UK say, "Listen, we've talked to their defense minister, and he says they have no plans to invade." Now, again, could they be bold-faced lying? Sure. If countries ever lied about invading, sure. But at the same time, I mentioned it yesterday or the other day. If you're going to invade a country, do you give them 2 months to prepare for it? No. That's Russia's not stupid. They're very calculated. They know exactly what they're doing. They know the responses to it. They had their demands, but is there motives behind the motives is really what you got to look at.
Right.
So again, I think we
said this a couple weeks ago that the fear of war is probably
because remember they wanted world
more
peace
damage than any actual
they said war would be bad.
Yeah. So. All right,
war would be bad. We should never use nuclear weapons and other stuff is all horrible. We just want security for our people, I mean, we know what the ultimate goal would be to take over the Ukraine again, but the reality is it has enough international support.
And they got oil up
laying the
above $90
for Taiwan
a barrel.
Too.
So oil above 90 really helps them out with some cash.
Huge. They're making a ton of money off this one. And remember, Iran at the same time is trying to negotiate with the United States now to get their sanctions removed because we need the oil because again, we have
demand up and no supply. All right, let's jump over and just take a quick peek at equities this morning.
I mean, equities are more or less flat. I mean, here is the response from yesterday. With really no news today, consumer confidence, you're going to see them coming back. We had some levels that we had. They missed it by just a little bit, right? They missed it by a little bit, but the Europeans kept in right about here. Right there's your 3 o'clock candle. So, it's moving up. I would say, dropping this down to a 50-minute is going to be the way to play it today. There's one little tiny level here. I'm not super concerned about it, but I think today we're able to get back up, maybe back up to the 40, 45, 80-ish area, maybe back up to where all the news was yesterday. Because really, remember, with the lack of any news today, the volatility will down, the fear would be down. When there's no fear, people tend to buy and get into things. There's not much negative, nothing there negative. I mean, again, all earnings have been good. You can still, interest rates are still really low. They haven't actually done anything yet. We don't actually know when they're going to do anything yet. Talking is a reaction for the market to filter it in, but there's nothing there yet. So consumer sentiment would be the only thing. I'd be looking for pullbacks or spikes right before the open. And again, this could be potentially one level right here at 45.18 for it to turn and roll back down.
Which, by the way, hang on one second. Just because you just called the 45.18, and I'm just gonna. This is the 50. That is right at the 50% retracement from recent highs and recent lows. So, that 40. I mean, that's. I like it when your number and the fib numbers line up. That's going to be an interesting level.
Yeah, if you take it from yesterday, it's dead on. If you take yesterday's peak right before news to yesterday's bottom, it's the start of the zone at 45.18 is exactly at the 50. So you guys can see it right there.
Yeah.
Okay. NQ. NQ had a similar function. What's funny about NQ is we talked about getting short before the news, but even if you didn't get short before the news and you played the parabolic retracement back up again, guess what? It triggered a second time. So even if you missed the first trade from yesterday, if you attended yesterday, you caught the second trade. And again, that's a lot of movement. What's the total on that one? Let's see. To the bottom, 500, actually 500 points, 499.25. So again, that's why we talk about these levels. And this is not a crystal ball. This is an area where we saw it. It was tested here once. And then again, an explosion off. There's an imbalance in price that caused that. It came back up and gave us another entry and then another short. So, hopefully you guys are able to get, involved with that. The level down below was a little bit, it didn't quite get all the way down there. It turned at kind of a weird level. And now it's kind of established a new bottom, like early morning. And then the Europeans really didn't do much with it. So we're rallying up right now. I mean, if you want to do the same fib analysis on it, we'll do a pre-news. You can see that the 50, there's a little bit going on right here, but sorry, buddy. I don't like it as much. I like the ES a little bit better. It's sitting right in there, is where it would be. It's okay. It's been touched. It does have the ascending wicks that I like. But but it is a little bit choppier on the way down. The impulse and corrections are very, very close together. But for those of you that like the NQ a lot, again, 14,782. YM, also at a level. I can remove this one now. Just delete that. Let's see. Pull fibs on this and see what we got on this one. And again, this one did the same thing as well. It just didn't get, it got so close. It just didn't get all the way back up again. Let's see. Delete some of these here. Right there. All right.
Here, if we're looking for that 50% retracement, we got a little bit of room to run.
Yeah, this one, it's there. And this one, my zone is actually right in front of the 50. So this could be one of those where it gets kind of front run by the number where people are waiting for it. They have their orders in there and then miss it to the downside. And again, this is just where the sellers have come in here 3 times previous, and that's at 35,257. So kind of similar. And again, they're all going to look about the same.
Yep.
And then Russell had about the same move as well. And again, Russell went off a zone that we mentioned yesterday. You can see the zones up there. Yeah, Russell has the same thing. There's a little bit of a hiccup sitting right there. Again, I think the Russell is my least favorite of them. I think ES and NQ are probably my 2 favorite on those, but they're all basically the same exact trade where the 50% fib algos are going to get in there and start trading things. Oh yeah, buddy. Yes.
All right.
Okay, you can trade it too.
All right, now he's starting to.
I think 10 o'clock is when we look for those to hit and reverse.
All right. Awesome. All right. Thanks, Brian, for that. With that, any questions for Nadex, please email us customerservice@nadex.com. You can email either Brian or me. Our email addresses are up there. Brian is very much available if you'd like to email him, support@keeptradingsimple.com. And again, it's a bit of a quiet open. And we might see a little bit of a quieter day as everyone digests the comments from some of the different Fed governors on the amount of rate hikes that are coming, but we know they're coming. So we're going to get a rate hike in March, whether it's 25 or 50 or whether it's 100.
It's not 100. Yeah.
It's not going to be 100.
It'll be 100.
But we are.
I like the guy. I think he's right, but I don't think he's saying that to.
Yeah, just to get attention. To get attention, and I get it. But we are going to see rate hikes. I mean, the government has to do something. Inflation's getting out of control, 40-year highs. But for today, be looking at those equity markets. We've got some interesting levels that you might want to be paying attention to that Brian just went through, and oil as well. With that, want to wish everyone a great weekend. Brian and I will be back on Monday. Everyone stay safe and warm. If you like what we're doing, by the way, please give us a like. We do appreciate that. And good luck in the markets. We'll catch you Monday.